we're called Glide. There's actually another brand, it's a condom brand, and they're called Glide as well. So hence why we put the agency in the back there. So
that's all we have.
So yeah.
We've got a golf course.
There's more penis jokes. Okay, next one, mate. So I use this as a bit of an icebreaker. Like, I know what you're thinking, right? Like, there's an Indian guy here at the front, and he's talking about digital marketing. Here we go. Getting lots of calls every day from SEO companies, but I can assure you all, like, this is not my team. Okay, I don't outsource to Bangalore, India. It's all right here in Perth. So this is our agency. We're in the CBD in Murray Street. I've got about 18 staff at the moment. We're specialised as a media ROI agency. What that means is basically, you know, when a client spends media with us, like digital media, we have to optimise that performance of that media, and we have to work with every single dollar and squeeze as much as we can out of it. As you know, the world is getting pretty complex in terms of buying ads, and you know, clients don't really have time to sit there and optimise campaigns all day long, and that's what we do, and we do a good job at it. So basically, this is a story. You know, this chap here, he just sat where I'm sitting. Now, it's kind of started with the crowdfunding stuff. I'll just introduce that bit. But Julian, you know, he came to my office about 2 years ago, and I just thought, look, honestly, I thought this guy's crazy. You know, he said that he wanted over $1 million raised within 6 weeks, right? And I just thought to myself, okay, look, we do some crazy things in marketing, but this takes the cake. And we were working with Virtual at the time, and we gave it a crack. And the ads did really well, and we were able to target a niche audience of, you know, some sort of hippie Frio type characters across Australia, and we managed to raise over $1 million. And look, we've done it twice now. So Julian's probably raised about $2.5 million through Virtual, and it's really exciting because as a founder, you know, you can access capital in different ways through purpose-driven campaigns and almost form a community. And you could use that in different phases, where it's distribution, you know, resourcing your business, marketing, expansion, whatever you want to do. So it's really cool. Sorry, next one, mate. So yeah, since then, the journey's just grown. Like, as an agency, we've raised over $30 million in the last couple of years for founders all across Australia. You know, some from Beer Cartel, some of these, so Tiller, obviously, Virtual, Thrive, which is like a fintech app, CoinStash, which is cryptocurrency, Bubble Tea Club, which is an online bubble tea platform, e-commerce platform. So it's a really exciting journey, and it's, just so you know, it's over $100 million industry now in Australia for capital raising. And look, we primarily do that all through Facebook and Instagram advertising. That's the only channels that we use. We don't for crowdfunding. And it's, you know, targeting broad awareness, interest, a lot of interest targeting, custom audience focus as well. But look, if we look at the PPC funnel, there's four main sections, right? Now, I'm just going to be talking about marketing here in general. As business owners in retail and online stores and things like that, you've really got to focus on these 4 things for the next year, right? One is awareness. Like, what is your awareness strategy for 2022? What are you doing? Which channels? How are you getting your brand out there? So really thinking about that. The consideration phase is effectively, if people don't know what your brand is, what keywords or what search intent are they using to find you, okay? That's just very simple. So if people are Googling your product or service, how are they going to get to you? So thinking of that. And then the website is really where people make decisions. Obviously, that's where you go see Ben. Building a Shopify site, but just understanding your metrics like, you know, lifetime value, customer acquisition, or cost per acquisition, average order value, all of those things, conversion rate. If you're sending traffic from these channels to your landing pages, how are they converting? What's the conversion rates? How can you improve them? And really looking at those metrics on a daily basis. And then retention's also really important. Like the big tech companies, these companies are billion-dollar companies because they've got so much data on people. So as a company, as a brand, what are you doing to nurture your data? What are you doing to grow that information and expand that? Because that's an asset for you, and that's how you got to think about your business. So this is really the world for us. Like, it's a multi-channel world. We're driving a lot of traffic through these social channels now, doing a lot of cross-channel, marketing. It is the customer journey now. People are like on Google, and then they'll go to YouTube, and then they'll see something on TikTok, and then they'll search you, and then they'll get remarketed on Facebook. It's just very convoluted now, right? So that's our job, is to kind of push it towards that conversion optimization funnel. Typically within Facebook, we will set up like funnels, and you guys probably doing this with some of your stores. But it's interesting to break that down between cold, warm, and hot audiences. So with cold ads, you typically would have ads that are just targeting broader categories, like interest-based categories, right? So we do recruitment campaigns for mining companies, for example, and to target blue-collar workers, we target anyone that's interested in Jack Daniels, right? And we're literally getting applications for big mining companies just doing things like that. So it's quite fascinating. And then obviously warm audiences, which is like, okay, once they know about us and they find out about us, getting some video content or getting content that's going to engage, get them to like, to comment, to share, like do something, interact with your ads, okay? And then the third thing is, once they've been to your site, what are you doing to get them back there? Like, are you showing some validation? Are you doing testimonial videos? Are you doing unboxing, right? So just different types of strategies in the funnel to kind of think about Facebook like that. So what are the obstacles that you're facing as business owners? So this is what we're seeing in the market at the moment. It's getting harder for brands to stand out, to be profitable, and to scale, okay? And this is mainly because there's more and more businesses entering the market. There's about 3.76 active Shopify stores globally. That's growing 200% since 2020, and that's why Ben's doubling in size every year. Organic, not physically, but like yeah. Now, organic social media is losing traction, as we know. Like, it's getting harder with organic posting. TikTok, people are like wondering about TikTok, and a lot of people are quite active on it. But for a lot of clients, that demographic is quite young, so their disposable income is not quite there in terms of spending a very high average order value type item. If you're sort of selling something like that. Consumers are smarter, and they're not responding to ads as they used to. Okay, next one. Some things are IS 14. I don't want to bore you too much, but this was a major thing in our industry. It made it really difficult to track and accurately in terms of campaign return on investment. But really, in a very top level way, the old style of advertising is phasing out. And we're sort of seeing the next generation of marketing and content marketing coming through now. And that's really changing how global brands are actually doing their ads. So influencer marketing is really getting saturated. I don't know how you guys are finding it, but it's very difficult now to get your products out to influencers in the right way. They're not making, we're speaking to influencers, they're not making as much money as they used to. The value of average influencer's opinion is changing as well. Like, we used to maybe listen to the 18-year-old girl telling us to buy green tea, and then that might reduce my chances of getting cancer. But maybe that 18-year-old girl's influence is not as strong as it used to be. But look, that's where where it's going with influence. It's harder to get the products out to these people as well, right? And then get video and content back. Now, big brands. So we talk to a lot of big brands out in the market, and these companies are spending millions of dollars on Facebook, okay? So, for instance, some of these companies are spending $5 million a year, $400,000 a month just on Facebook, okay? And with those budgets, your newsfeed is getting saturated. So you're competing with that as well, right? And what we're finding is that a lot of these companies have their own in-house production teams. So they have, video producers, animators. They've got all the, bells and whistles in terms of content, but they're still outsourcing to agencies that can produce content. Guys like Brand Booster at the back, TikTok-based agencies, because it's still not enough, because they need 300 to 400 pieces of content per month just to keep up with that level of ad performance. Okay, next one. Problems with Facebook ad performance. So paid advertising is growing more expensive. Targeting is becoming more niche. There's more agencies out in the market that are burning and churning clients. I spoke to a client before. He said that he went through 8 agencies and he still hasn't got the right formula.
Thank God he met you then, eh?
Yeah, well, yeah. Okay, next one, mate. Facebook is also going all in on machine learning. Okay, so they're really pushing this. You know, before we would spend like $50 and then we'd really work hard to find that niche audience. What they're saying is spend $150 with us and we'll find the audiences for you. So you do need to do a little bit of both, but that's where a lot of those big tech companies are trying to push it now. So the rise of vertical video. So this is where we go into content now. Now YouTube Shorts, are you guys familiar with this? Like if you go to your YouTube app, you'll see the shorts pop up on your YouTube app. Now this just was launched in March 2021, so just last year, right? And YouTube Shorts has got about 15 billion daily views, right? So it's insane. Now there's 1.5 billion users watching YouTube Shorts every month, okay, every month. And 72% of YouTube Shorts are longer than 15 seconds. Now this is the bad boy that's created that movement, and it's TikTok. So TikTok, people spend about 14 hours on average a month. So it's like moving away from, you know, Netflix almost and just going on TikTok and watching lots of crap. Now, there's about 167 million TikTok videos that are watched every single minute, okay, around the world. And this is a really interesting stat. Like the most used category, the most searched for category in TikTok is entertainment. Half a trillion hashtag views since it launched, and a lot of stuff around dances and pranks and fitness, and then when you look deeper, you see some other categories here like home reno, beauty and skincare, fashion, recipes, cooking, right? So it's moving to this lifestyle type platform, which is really fascinating. Next, mate. So how do we solve this? Really what we're looking at is, you know, moving towards a world with native ads, right? People hate ads. They don't want to see an ad that looks like a freaking ad, right? They want to feel like the ad belongs on the platform, okay? So if you're creating a piece of content, think about the fact that if you can make your ad feel like it's part of the platform, it's going to make a better impact. So, you know, people are recognizing to ignore the ads within a millisecond. Like they can see it's an ad and they'll just skip past it. So if they look genuine, then it's going to work. Now this is really interesting. This is Leica, which is a pet food product, and I showed you that one because there's a person behind the product, right? Like, so you guys were talking about it before as business owners, but this is really where brands need to move. They need to get behind you as a business owner, as a founder. Need to get behind your brand and tell the story, because that's what people are buying into. They're not just buying the product, they want to know about the story, the journey, the founder, right? So think Elon Musk and Tesla, think Steve Jobs and Apple. It's the same with Julian Illich and Tiller, right? They do. They really want to know about who's behind the brand. So if you can convey that, and that's why we're able to sell or raise lots of millions of dollars in capital with crowdfunding, okay? So it's exactly the same metrics. Okay, next one. Excuse me, sorry dude. Now, yeah, again, like, so if you open TikTok, I don't know if anyone's noticed this, but if you open TikTok as an app, the first thing you see now is an ad, okay? And this is HP, and that was what I was presented with. Like, imagine, that's crazy. Like, it's a stock photo, and there's this, like, you know, ad style font, and it's on TikTok. It's just weird, right? So, you know, so stop making your ads trying to look like ads, and it should be working the other way around. Yep. Okay. So this is another example. So once you've got your native ad, you need to start looking at direct response, okay? So direct response is, you know, setting up an ad, but making sure that it's curious enough to convey a message, but then also take action, clear call to actions at the end, right? It's a really important recipe, but a lot of people miss that out. So this is an example of a company that sells neon signs, so obviously it's just telling a bit of a story, but you can see there's screenshots of the website, how you choose it, and then there's a very quick shop now at the end of the ad, right? Very, very effective, okay? So that's a great strategy as well. Next, mate. And then another good strategy is, once you've got your vertical video, you've got to look at repurposing that across all of these platforms. It's so easy to do, right? So you can get them into Instagram Reels. You can use those videos for your ads on Facebook. You can use them for ads on Instagram, even TikTok as well. You can do ads there and even short. So that's where everything's moving towards. Yep. Now, a lot of businesses are creating ads on Facebook and then trying to push them back into TikTok. That's not going to work. You've got to work from native outwards. So this is what we call UGC, which is user-generated content. And this is a typical formula now. We usually have a hook at the beginning to grab the user's attention, to really make them watch that video rather than, oh, it's an ad and flick. And then at the end, again, a call to action, right? Direct response. Now, in between, we typically try and use these strategies. We have a problem, a solution, features and benefits. That's when you can talk about that stuff as well, or get your actor or the person that's doing the video to really convey those messages. And then, sorry, dude. Now, when you're optimizing, when you're scaling for video content, you can swap out a lot of these things within those sections. Okay, so you can swap features and benefits for an unboxing thing, or you can swap social proofing, and that's how you ad test at scale. Okay, next one. So, yeah, an example of return on ad spend. Go to the next one, mate. And yeah, look, so just more examples of authentic ads. FMCGs really does well on that sort of platform with native advertising. Next. And this is a client of ours, Pearls of Australia. And I know that like with UGC, you can lose a little that element of branding. So you can still convey good brand using vertical video, okay? So this is just an example of how you can use those dimensions to really, repurpose content. Okay. Yep. So thank you. That's pretty much it. Yep. Cool.
Does anyone have any questions?